Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I've actually wanted to make this video for a while, but I finally have time to sit down and make it. So I'm guessing you know by the title that this video is going to be why I returned the Oticon More Hearing Aids. I don't have them anymore because I returned them. They were that horrible for me, and we're gonna talk about it. So every single time something new and revolutionary comes out on the market, I tend to get it because I am competing in a very highly competitive market for jobs right now, and also my major and what I want to go into is just not a very hard of hearing / deaf friendly job market. It's just not. Everything required listening and all this stuff. I do broadcast journalism and I love it, and that's why I do it. Otherwise, if it was just based on what is good for my disability, I probably wouldn't do it because it is ridiculously hard and you still have to compete at the highest levels. So anything that can help me, I really will invest in because it's literally my life. It's my primary sense of hearing. My audiologist in August told me that she thinks that I should get the Oticon Mores because she thinks that they were revolutionary compared to the Umpins that I'm currently using and made a review video on. So I was like, yeah, sure, I will try this out. You know, my hearing isn't the best. I have moderate to severe hearing loss in both ears, and it's really frustrating sometimes. So I picked them up in light pink. It was the first time that I got a color that wasn't black because I was like, you know what, why not? So I picked them up and I was so excited. They look exactly like the Umpins, okay? The only thing that's different is that these you actually put batteries in, and in those hearing aids they were rechargeable, which was another thing that I did not like, but we'll get to that later. So I go and I get the Mores. They're ridiculously expensive, by the way, but all hearing aids are. They're really expensive because they're top of the line hearing aids. So I was expecting a lot, but I was still kind of hesitant. So I put the hearing aids on and I was just automatically, my brain hurt. And I kind of expected that because every single time you get a new hearing aid, it's new technology that your brain isn't used to, and you have to develop it and soak it in and get used to it. I heard noises when I tried the Mores on that I have never heard in my entire life, and that's pretty cool. I was so excited when I first put the hearing aid on because I heard things, like I said, that I never heard before. I've never heard, the fan was super loud, never heard it that loud before. I could hear people from longer distances, could never really hear that before. I heard the coffee maker. I could hear birds. Birds were loud. They woke me up in the morning if I had my hearing aids on, you know? That had never happened before. I remember going to the park a week into having these hearing aids with my friend, and I literally could not have a conversation with him because I was like, oh my god, I hear the water rippling and I hear the wind, and I have never heard those two things before. And so that was awesome. My audiologist literally cried the first day that I got them because I was hearing sounds as a 20-year-old that I had never heard before in all 20 years of living. And so that's wild, and that's a big deal. But the problem is that my brain could not get used to hearing those sounds. So I would be out and about and I could not physically have a conversation with whoever I was with because my brain was only focusing on the things that I had never heard before. The wind, the water, the birds, the background noise. And I just adjusted the hearing aids so many times, went back to my audiologist so many times, could not get my brain to get used to it. And I tried it out for literally 3 weeks straight. I extended, the warranty or whatever, where I could return it, and I kept on trying it out, but it kept on giving me the biggest headache, and it was just so frustrating because I feel like if my brain could have gotten used to those hearing aids, it could have been really good and I could have been higher functioning, I guess, but I just couldn't do it. And I remember taking them off and putting on my Umpins and just having a sigh of relief. It was just, these hearing aids that I wear right now just feel so good, so natural. and my brain still took some time to get used to it, but it was like good, and my brain didn't hurt, but my brain hurt so much whenever I would put the Oticon Mores on, and that's essentially why I had to return them. Okay, so I'm going to go through on the Oticon website and read what it claims to do, and then give you my experience, because again, I got these hearing aids in August and I didn't return them until October. So I did try them out and I really wanted to give them a chance, because there's a difference between getting them and then returning them, because you don't actually give them a chance, because again, your brain does need to adjust, and then actually giving them a chance and it's just not working for you. Alright, so the first thing it says is a hearing aid designed to support your brain. Oticon More uses brain hearing technology, which is a revolutionary hearing aid that gives the brain more of the relevant information it needs to make better sense of sound, so you can get better speech understanding with less effort and the ability to remember more. So it's supposed to deliver 30% more sound to the brain and increase speech understanding by 15% and reduces listening effort so that you remember more of what is being said. I didn't find any of that to be the case personally. Did I get more sound to my brain? Absolutely. I was hearing literally every single little thing. Also, something that was really cool about the hearing aid is that I could hear, like, the microphone was just so much stronger. Like, someone could move all the way across the room and they would talk and it would still feel loud, which had never happened before, which was super cool, and which made me really hopeful when I first tried it on, because when you first try something on, it's like so much is going on. But that was really, really cool. So I'm not saying this is a bad hearing aid. I'm just saying, like, for me and my brain, like, I feel like I'm too old to adjust, but I'm still young, you know? Anyways, and then in the increase in speech understanding, personally, no, I didn't get any increase in speech understanding, and it's because my brain was so focused on the background noise. And when you go into the computer program and try to adjust the settings on the hearing aid, it has different functions for background noise. So it's like they know that it's going to increase the background noise, but it's just way too much. I'm so curious to see if other people had tried these hearing aids, because my audiologist told me that several of her patients have returned the Oticon Mores for the exact same problem that I'd returned them for, is because the background noise was just too much. And when you turn it down, like, you can turn it down, but it gets to be to a point where you turn everything down so much that you still can't hear literally anything. Like, you turn the background noise down so much where you turn everything down, if that makes sense. So I did not think it reduced my listening effort. I had to listen more to try to, like, read out the background noise to figure out what the heck was actually being said by the person that I wanted to hear. It was crazy. So it does say, hear sounds that shouldn't be missed, and there's a picture of a couple and a bunch of different background noises, like a plane, a bird, a dog. Like, if I wanted a hearing aid just to hear background noise, it would be this. It was so good. It's like the most bizarre thing that I've ever heard in my life. It said that the More is trained with 12 million sounds from real life to recognize virtually all types of sound to support your brain. That's crazy. And I think it definitely, that is a claim that is true, because there were so many sounds I heard, again, that I had never heard in my entire life. Okay, so the next big claim that I had on its website is that it's the world's first hearing aid with a deep neural network embedded on the chip. So the deep neural network is trained on 12 million real-life sounds to give your brain more of the information it needs to decipher the intricate details of relevant sound. It works like how your brain works, because it learns through experience, but that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. As a result, you get better speech understanding with less effort and the ability to remember more, even in noisy environments. I want to talk to somebody at Oticon, because the claims are so cool, but something is off with this hearing aid, and I highly recommend that if you buy it, you truly set time aside to try it out so that you can return it if it's like crazy, you know? Because it was just a crazy listening experience, one that I've never had before, and I wouldn't recommend, honestly. But that is the second thing that's supposed to be like wow about that hearing aid, is that it's the world's first hearing aid with an onboard deep neural network. And then the next one is that it's Bluetooth, which honestly I did do the Bluetooth on the Moors, worked really nicely, exactly like my Opens. So good. Like that, I will never rave enough about Bluetooth hearing aids. They are amazing and have made my life so much better. And then the other thing was that it's rechargeable and it has a full day's power in a charge, which I do believe that that's true. I never had a problem when I was using the rechargeable pod of it running out of battery. It's always something that I think about, but I do know that every single hearing aid that comes out is going to be rechargeable now, which I don't not really the biggest fan of, because I like to have backup just in case something happens, and I'm a really busy person with a really busy schedule. It's just what it is, I guess. The only thing that I kind of had a little difficulties with was sometimes I would put my hearing aid in the pod and then it would like turn on, but then I had my hearing aids off so I couldn't hear that it was whistling, and then so that was kind of an issue sometimes, which is really weird. The rechargeable thing was a little funky, a little weird, but overall like it charged really well and it lasted a really long time. So would I recommend this hearing aid? No, I wouldn't. I've never had an issue, and I've used so many different types of hearing aids, like the Safari, the More, like I've used so many Oticon hearing aids. I've used like a super hearing aid from them and never had any issues. I even used like waterproof hearing aids that came out from like, yeah, the Siemens brand. Never had an issue. And this was just bizarre to me because I could hear so many things that I never heard before, and that was so great, but I could not decipher what a person was saying because I was so fixated on the background noise. I don't know if that's a me problem, but as soon as I put on other hearing aids like my Actuals, Epochs, Umpins, it was completely fine. Like, it was a sense of relief. I could understand what people were saying. It's just, the more it just made me go crazy, and I would not recommend them. If you do have the Moors and you like them, that's so great. I'm so happy for you because I feel like it has so much potential. I just feel like they need to like go back in the lab and like fix something. Like the technology is almost there, but it's just not there yet. So yeah, that was my review on the Moors. The first time I ever reviewed something from Oticon and gave it negative reviews, but like I want it to work so badly, and I'm super excited for the next thing that they come out with because these technologies are great. Like I want to hear the background noise, but not to the point where like a bird would sing and it would go like directly in here. Like with my Opens, like I hear noises, but I hear them like from a distance, like a real person would. But with the Moors, like if there was a sound or like the wind or the water, like I wouldn't hear it from the distance. It would come straight to the microphone, and that was also a trip. So there's lots of things here that have so much potential. It's just not there yet. That is my review. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will answer them. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry this was negative, but that is my review on the Oticon Open Moors, and I hope that if you like this video, you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!